Hey everybody, thanks for joining. Welcome to my channel, Fuchsia Floyd. If you're new here, my name is Eva, this is my cat Charlie, and today we're just gonna have a little chit chat. A response to a video by Jame, where she tagged me in continuing the conversation, and the conversation was a response to a video by Caleb Snell. And I will have both James' video linked below and of course Caleb's original response video linked below as well. Who decides who's worthy of these purchases? So I think it's a great conversation to have. And I thought before we get into it, I might show you a few bags that I've been using this week. I'm pointing back there to my Lily and Bean tote bag that I've been using for work. I've changed out of it this week and I'm going to make a video about that. I thought I might be able to use it longer and give a detailed review about it, but I can't, and I'll explain why in the video. I changed into this bag as my work bag, though I've taken my things out of this already as well because I'll be changing again. So this is one of my older Kate Spade tote bags, and you might recognize it because I've been using the SLG that goes along with this lately since New Year's. And then this week I'm still enjoying my what I thought was an UGG bag, turns out not an UGG bag. Versa bags made in Greece. This was the bag that I discussed in my car confessionals video. Of course, I'll link that below if you're curious. But yeah, nice suede, nice warm and cozy bag. And then after I film this video, I'm going to go out and run some errands, and I'm planning on taking this little Gucci mini padlock bag with me. One of my favorite little mini bags, really great for just running around and doing some errands. And this is the bag that I'll be taking later this afternoon. I think that gives you some context in terms of I enjoy contemporary brands, little Etsy shop brands here. And of course, you know, Gucci, a major fashion house brand, would be considered luxury. So knowing that I use and enjoy all those different kinds and styles and brands of bags, all those bags give me joy or bring me joy. And really, who decides what is deemable as luxury and who decides who deserves a luxury? You know, I think that's ultimately the question here. There is an intersection with my career here, which if you're not interested, I get it. But if you are, I'll explain a little bit here. Very invested in studying a specific kind of music education. I came from the country of Hungary in Central Europe. I went to live there for 2 years. I lived in a monastery. It was my minimalistic life where I lived out of a suitcase basically for 2 years. The creator and founder of this methodology, Zoltan Kodály, wanted to be able to bring music, access to music, creating music, understanding music, reading music to the general average citizen in Hungary. Whereas before, it was reserved for the elite, for only those that could afford, or their families could afford, private lessons. And it was a luxury to be able to, you know, have piano lessons or any kind of instrumental lessons, you know, violin lessons or whatever the case may be. And that was, you know, part of like the high class, to be able to show that you had these musical skills. And Zoltan Kodály really just kind of like changed that mentality completely when he provided this system of music education for the whole country, for the average person to be able to have access to music in a way that allowed them to be an accomplished musician and be able to have high level of music literacy and music reading skills, where they could do anything musically that they wanted to. They could, you know, go into folk music or vernacular music or fun music or academic music, and that was through with their public music education system. And so, yeah, so I went there to study that for 2 years. You know, and I'm not the only one. Like there's an international school there for teachers from all over the world there to come to study that and to think about how they might make applications in their own areas. But I think there's a similar analogy here about how you take something that's just traditionally been reserved as a luxury for a few, and think about how it can be made available or accessible to more. And in a way, I think that's what YouTube actually does for us. For those of us that might have a more limited budget, we might be able to find something on a pre-loved site for an amount that's a little bit more accessible to us But we might need some help in figuring out which items might be more appealing, because those pre-loved items might not be available anymore to see in a store. So we need help with the research. And that's where I think that I want to bring something to the community in terms of making review videos for helping others find those items with limited funds and making informed decisions. Because I know for sure that I was doing that, and I'm still doing that when I'm thinking about purchasing something pre-loved that's not available to see in a store. And even if it was, I might not have that store, near me to be able to go and look for myself before making that purchase. Well, I know that there will be a few naysayers along the way who will doubt my worthiness to have access to some of these items. So be it. They're not the ones who have the right to decide that. But we all know that who decides these things, it's up to us. So those are the thoughts that I leave you with today. And I just say thank you so much for listening and for joining. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed, I would really enjoy that so that we could hang out together in the future. You take care, and I'll see you next time.